My Gavan and Melonine, and well met indeed. I'm Arche Galadirthan, head of the modding team behind Divide and Conquer, and welcome back to the same as we continue on as Dol Amroth. Episode number 6, I believe this is. We've recently taken Finabel, and we've got a guild offer for it that I don't want, because we don't want to hold the city. We have no plans to. And something that we might actually do is try and use it as leverage to gain peace with Harad for even just a short time.
Your orders.
And so Beragond the Gossip, although no, we don't have enough time for that, do we? Because they're going to take it back straight away. Oh well, so that idea's out. But that's all right. I was thinking we could try and sell it back to them and get peace and trade rights, which wouldn't last forever. They would attack us almost straight away afterward. But it might buy us a turn or two. And you've got to do everything you can, really. But unfortunately, our diplomat is simply too far away. I don't mind cheap moving him at all, but I mean as in they're going to take it in this end turn, and he doesn't have any more time left. If they don't take it, then I will move him down, and we'll try and do that. Prince Adrian, conqueror of Finabel, and Baragund, our fine archer general, with Nimedal Mariners and his ragtag team that survived the attack on Finabel, are moving west to join up with Lord Imrahil the Mighty and take Gobel Mirlond from the faction heir of the Ardenaim himself, Lord Gimmelzor, which we should be able to do. There's a little army to the north, Arnubal Khan, but we've bypassed him and we've gone for the city. His army would die to Imrahil's cavalry force if he does decide to fight us. Khand, of course, are now rearing their ugly head and coming at us, but Carmen and Mistvan have formed an anti-cavalry army and are crossing the Aethir Anduin as we speak, and they'll move in on Tirithoros. Vildan Kalime, unfortunately, is going to fall again, and Captain Ethakali is going to take it. But that's all right. We'll worry about that much, much later on. We've just got to keep things going. Right, so we can end the turn. Oh, no, you have to decide. I was hoping it would let us just not do anything. Oh, no, look, we can't afford it, so we can say yes without worry now. Haha, all that worry over. In terms of the money that we do currently have, we're using it to buy more troops, because we don't actually make any money. We're going to be back in the red soon. So for now, we're just trying to get a load of troops together so that we can just blitz our way into here a bit more, so that we'll be able to hold anything that we do conquer. Now, something that I wanted to talk about today, ever since I watched a video on it this morning, is that this very morning I watched a short interview that was taken in the 1960s of J.R.R. Tolkien, and an interviewer whose name I'm afraid I do not know. It was fascinating to hear Tolkien speak, because to date, I must say to my, I'm ashamed to admit, I've never actually watched any of the interviews of Tolkien, and he really does mumble and stutter. And there were a lot of comments on the video saying, can someone please provide subtitles for this, because this is ridiculous. And he really does talk like you'd expect someone from 18th or 19th century Victorian Britain to speak, which I thought was quite entertaining. But the thing that got me the most, they wanted to say Cameron Eichel. The thing that got me the most, and that I am almost, I said to Jess before I recorded, I'm almost more interested in telling you all this than I am about recording this. Something that absolutely wears me down on YouTube is when people constantly tell me that I'm mispronouncing something. It's a real bugbear of mine, and I hate seeing it on forums as well, or on YouTube videos where someone who doesn't know Lord of the Rings gets called out by pedantic nerds, I'm afraid is what I shall call you, about how they've mispronounced something. And the reason I'm so vindicated, to use that word again, and gleeful, is because in the interview with the gentleman, and I'm not even going to move the mouse, I'm sorry, I'm so set on saying this. In the interview with the gentleman, Tolkien and the interviewer both talk about Sauron. Now, Sauron is pronounced Sauron. We know this, it's written down by Tolkien himself. But a lot of people pronounce it Sauron. And on the internet, whenever they pronounce it Sauron, they are always shot down. How dare you pronounce it Sauron? It's pronounced Sauron. And yet, the interviewer pronounces it as Sauron. And not only does Tolkien not stop to correct him, which I found delightful because it's incredibly rude, and I think that's the main reason why I hate it. Tolkien doesn't stop to correct him, but not only does he not do that, he himself pronounces it as Sauron shortly afterwards, without missing a beat. And yet we know from his own hand that he said it should be pronounced Sauron. So if the person who made up the bloody language isn't bothered with how you pronounce it, then you bloody well shouldn't be either. And just pronounce it how you bloody well fancy. Because if a language is to evolve, as all languages do, and I would have thought Tolkien would be keen on that given that he was a language professor, They change and morph over time, and the example I always use is English. I say Bath, people to the north of me would say Bath. Neither of us would say that the other is pronouncing the word wrong, other than in jest. But yet, people get so hung up on laypersons who haven't even read about Sindarin pronouncing words wrong, and it just drives me up the wall. And so I still feel so happy to know that Tolkien himself pronounced a word in inverted commas wrong, and did so without hesitation. And so you can stop telling everyone they're pronouncing it wrong, because if Tolkien himself wasn't bothered, then I'm sure he wouldn't have appointed you as the judge and jury of pronunciation. So kindly be about your business and be on your way. So there we are, rant over. Now we can continue playing. Now some very interesting developments. Can did not go for Vildan Calumet, which means Mistvan might be able to take Terodhoros and get down there and save it. However, we have bumped into an army here, which is a bit disappointing. And also, Harad did not take Finabel. So we are going to cheat move our diplomat down here, Beregond the Gossip, and sell it back to them, because that will buy us a little bit of time. I need to do show curse stat first. I'm not bothered about selling it back to Harad, because I know that they will attack us again. This is not going to take out one of our enemies and make the campaign a doddle. It is buying us time, and that is something I think is worthwhile pursuing. So we'll ceasefire with them, we'll trade rights. We can give them map information. See, they don't like any of that, but if we give them Finabel back... Why can't I give you Finabel back? Oh, no, because I've done the wrong thing, haven't I? I'm asking them to give me something. If we give them their capital back, it goes to balanced. I think we've already given them map information, so we could get rid of that. And maybe they just don't like trade rights. I was thinking we could surely get at least sort of 5,500. Or is that going to go into demanding? No, it's still balanced. No, they don't want the money though. I'm not sure we'll be able to actually get any money for it, but I'm not... Money's not the be-all and end-all. Oh yeah, look. No, dear, oh dear. They don't want their capital much at all. Possibly because it now brings in little to no money. So why would they? Oh, Arnu Balkan is on a bridge. We don't want to fight him on a bridge. Do we think those two have the right stuff to take down Gimmelzor's armsmen? Oh, yeah, they probably do, don't they? Go on. Let's go in hard. Hit them as they would us. So, Mistvan's shortly on his way to Terodhoros. That's one of our ships, isn't it? Yes. We've got more troops available. And I'm going to take those ones. Pop them in the fort for now, because we can't go into the boat just yet. And we'll take both of those pike units, but for the moment, let's just get free upkeep. That lessens our financial burdens. Our ships have moved back, and then it's just Adrian. What on earth is Olyaitu doing all the way down here? What have we got? One pike unit, just 3 archers, Haven Guard, and we've got Adriel. And what have you got? Only 1 cavalry archer, that's good. Oh, and ground archers, that's interesting to see. I just don't really want that army roaming around. Particularly because they seem to be on their own. So oh, they don't even think they can beat us either. Oh, wow, they really can't beat us. That is hugely in our favour. Let's give it a save and test that. 131, I think that's worthwhile. I'm sure we probably would have lost about that. I'll take an auto-resolve, that's fine. Right, and keep moving west. And we got a little bit of money for that, which is nice. And a few less troops to maintain, which gives us a bit more money as well. Yeah, I'd consider that a success. Although, as I am recording this, I just realised that actually I think today is an Ered Luin day. Because I was going to do 3 of each now, because DCI Last Alliance is closing. That campaign's only got 1 or 2 videos left, so I'm just going to do them as and when. Hopefully this week, to be honest, but if at worst comes to worst, it'll be next week. So we're going back to just Dol Amroth and Ered Luin on the channel at the moment. And I'm giving them 3 episodes each, and Ered Luin only had 2, didn't it, since we last did Dol Amroth? Oh, please tell me that Can took Finabel, because that'd be fantastic. And why wouldn't you wait till your reinforcements arrive? Madness is this. Oh, Gimmelzor, you've just sealed your fate. In the most spectacular way possible. Cavalry. Down he goes. Now I understand why so many of you are keen on watching Dol Amroth, because of course the faction vote, if it is to tell us anything, Dol Amroth are one of the most loved factions. Unfortunately, they have quite a few people that also dislike them, which made them not appear in the top 10 for Oh, hang on. My camera's still right down from when I recorded this stuff. And it should be just about the E, if memory serves. I seem to remember reminding myself of that as I moved it. There we are. Yes, Dol Amroth didn't make the percentage vote, but they did make the overall votes list. So a very liked faction. Righty ho 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 ho. Let's send Imrahil over there and Istvan over there. And then you come for those archers. And then what we'll do, nice, is skirt around and then come back and hit the archers. Perfect. I'm going to try and get them out. And then run on. Marvellous, that's pretty much taking care of the archers. Oh, it's Istion, not Istvan, isn't it? That's Mistvan's name without an M. Alright, Istion, you keep them in place, keep them in place. Oh, they just use one of their powers. They never use their powers. That's amazing.
Pray something changes in the course of battle, for defeat seems almost certain.
When you have so few people, losing 3 soldiers is 10% of your army. And so the narrator does not like that one bit. I don't know why we're bothered about the armsmen, actually. They are not an anti-cavalry unit, so charging into them head-on is not a problem. Go on, someone knock Gimmelzor off his pedestal. These fools think that they are the true sons and daughters of Numenor, but they know nothing. I mean, if we are to be completely frank, and if we take the DaC law that we've created for the Ardanaim, then, if truth be told, we are both sons and daughters of Numenor. They just sided with the wrong side. Oh, Istion's taking a right pounding though, isn't he? Right, Istion, let's get you to do a rear charge. And we get...
For the moment, the fortune of battle
Actually, I don't think we
goes
really
our way.
need Istion to do anything else.
If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
I think he'll end up just dying. But I think the enemy now has only got Gimmelzor left. Can we take him down in glorious charge? That's the question. There he stands alone. In they come. How he did not die to that is beyond me. But if that doesn't do it,
Our men have slain the general.
yes!
Without him, his troops will lose.
Then
The
someone
enemy
else
are utterly
did.
vanquished.
And the great
This is
city
a
of
great
Gobel
victory,
Mirlond falls
worthy
to
of only
Amrothian
the
control.
mightiest of generals.
Soon the spires and minarets will be replaced, as Numenorian splendor returns to the deserts of Harad. 6 men lost, 305 killed, 234 kills. That was always going to be a win for us, because our Ardanaim armsmen, whilst being a very powerful unit, are not anti-cavalry. If they had had spears, that would have been a very different battle indeed. I think we still probably would have won, because we can flank them, but we would have lost a lot more. But as it stands, swords and shields will never hold off against the might of Amrothian cavalry.
Gondor is victorious.
Oh, there aren't many people here at all, are
Our
there?
realm is expanded.
We'll just sack it. Pelothiel and Turlin. And Vildan Calumet gets a Horse Breeders Guild. Go on then. Finabo has been retaken. There's rioting in it. Maybe that's why it was retaken. Right, all 4 of you. Jump in the ship. And take the horse as well. And you're going to go and support Mistvan, because he's the one who's going to do the reclaiming of this land. What is inside Tirithoros? Arslan, steppe tribesmen and steppe archers. Vildan Calumet continues to remain in our grasp despite its precarious location. A large Candish army is coming. And speaking of large Candish, or large things, here comes Adrahil to reinforce. Now, we absolutely cannot leave those 2 in there because they will die. So what we'll have to do is send them out.
Be gone.
And...
Awaiting your command.
Slay them.
heroic victory, 1 loss. The AI actually managed to get a victory like we would get. It's almost unheard of. I don't really want to lose Gobel Mirlond, but I just didn't want to lose Imrahil. So the Ardanaim will almost certainly take it back right away, but then Adrian will pop in and actually take it. And then it's up to... What do we do with Mistvan then? How do we stop Harad is the question. How do you solve a problem like Maria? With more forces is the answer. Badotan, if you could get free upkeep, that'd be really handy. Building a barracks and a town hall, though, is 2,000 coins. We're still hemorrhaging money. Particularly now the army's back into the ships.
Mariners of the fleet!
Mariners! I'm assuming
Yes,
it was
my
Harad that retook it, yes.
Yes. No, my lord.
Do you just fancy a
It's had
ceasefire
best
just
be
for
worth our time.
shits and gigs, if you'll pardon my French?
Never.
Never.
You think us foolish and meek.
Borbuthor, that's a portrait I've never seen before, that's pretty cool.
We hope for more fruitful parley in future.
Well, if you bring something to the table, sirs, other than rampant disregard for the lives of my people, then perhaps we will bring something to the table. Oh, we've got more money, haven't we? Oh, who do we want to train? With our 1,356, we might as well get another unit of something. Cavalry, I think we are Dol Amroth. And we'll put them in the fort. So we can end the turn again. After the faction vote, we have now had an opportunity to talk about various different changes that we would make to the factions. I hadn't planned on making any sweeping changes to the factions that were voted as the least favourite until it became apparent that the 4 Wildmen nations, Anduin, Enedwaith, Dunland and Cand, all happen to be the most disliked. We can't simply stand by and just accept defeat that the Wildmen are hated factions and just leave it at that. Had the 5 factions in the bottom been not related to each other, so if it had been Anduin and Dale and Gondor and Mordor, and High Elves, then that's a taking from every different sort of culture, isn't it? And that wouldn't have mattered as much. Those factions would have been disliked for reasons, but they would have been sort of taken on their own. Whereas because all 4 Wildmen factions have been disliked, there must be some sort of underlying problem, and that's what we hope to redress.
A fine day to sail.
Bugger. You're not going to get your reinforcements. You're going to have to take Yiltig on your own. But he's got a lot of cavalry, and you've got a lot of anti-cavalry. So he should be alright. I hope. But they are throwing everything at taking Tirathoros back. How far can Yiltig move? He can't make it to the coast, and we can. And Pellender's right there, and Pellender has a solid support. So I think it is worthwhile. Pull back to the coast, lift the siege. And he won't get us, and Pellender can drop those troops off on the next turn, and that's will give Misfin his forces. Cand will now almost certainly go for Vildan Academy because they can't see me, but they might then break the siege or stop the siege after they see my forces come back. I don't really want to leave Adrian trapped down here in Gobel Mirlond, but also the Ardenaim do get a last stand script. They do get support in the form of a last stand army. And it comes in when they go down to less than 3 regions, and it comes in down here. And they now currently have 3 regions, so if we take one, they will get their script, and we will be up the creek. But equally, I don't want to just leave Adriel and his forces stuck in Mirlond for the rest of their lives. I don't know what's best to do. That army is rubbish, though, so I'm not too worried about that. And we've got these forces up here giving us grief. Marwen. Ha! No loss in It's getting silly. Even the AI now is winning ridiculous victories. Let's just keep sending Imrahil and Istion to go and just harass towns and things. Go and siege towns that don't have large garrisons and do what the AI does to us. Walk right past their front lines and hit them in the rear. Then we can end the turn again. Although doing that's always a risk, because the AI obviously knows where you are, even though you don't know where the AI is. So they come out of the shadows and they strike at your army with a huge army, and you have no hope of winning. But if you play it right and you run away properly by going into the battle and then actually withdrawing, you generally speaking can keep your cavalry alive, even in dire circumstance, and they'll be able to retreat back to friendly territory. There is so many Candish forces out and about. Oh, they really are such a grand horde. Now, I don't think Imrahil and Istion would win in that particular battle. Oh, no, there's only 21 and 36. Yeah, go on. Come at me, Cand. Istion really needs to recover. He's down to only 8 men, isn't he? The ground forces aren't a problem, but the cavalry.
Our foes appear to be gaining the upper
cavalry.
hand in this battle.
If we keep them together, and then we get a bit of a bonus out of that. I should say that the plans that we have for the nations that appeared in the bottom 5 isn't to drastically overhaul their gameplay. We're not going to try and reinvent the wheel or anything like that. We're just going to take on board the main points about why they were disliked and try and address those. So, for example, the main point that people disliked Canned wasn't because of their roster or how they play. Most people actually said they were a very fun faction, except you have to run across the entire world to actually do anything. And so we hope to address that specific point, as opposed to trying to reinvent Canned from the ground up. No faction is going to be removed from the game, and no faction is going to be drastically altered. But we will make minor changes just to deal with some of the more egregious problems with each nation. Now I'm playing this one at times 6 because it's a slugfest, really, isn't it? We're just breaking through the cavalry, and our cavalry just far outweighs theirs. Cavalry versus cavalry negates both of your problems. So obviously the biggest problem with cavalry is they have a huge hitbox. But when you're fighting against other cavalry who also has a huge hitbox, it takes that specific problem out of the equation. So it then does just come down to who's the better fighter. And unfortunately for Canned, Royal Swan Guard, whilst having one of the best names in the game, if I do say so myself, given that I named them, they also have some of the best stats of any cavalry unit.
The enemy are badly bloodied. The battle is very much in our favour. Victory will be ours.
Thank you, narrator. I should agree. I do really like Canned. I was very disappointed.
The army flees the field. Pursue and run them down.
Disappointed to see that they were... Well, I mean, no, that's contrary to what I've said in the past, isn't it? I like the idea of Canned, but I've always hated where they start, and I find their campaign dull. When I say that they were a waste of a faction, I mean it as in not enough people are playing as them, and their faction has a really cool features about them, and I like factions where we've created the lore for them, but they're wasted because you start so far away, you spend most of the game just running across the map. They're not like Moria, in my mind. Moria I absolutely hate. I'd never play as Moria. I find almost everything about them dull. But Canned, I like the idea of Canned, I just don't like the way that they play. That's my main dislike against them. Indeed, there was a time where Canned was one of my favourite factions. Until then I played them again and thought, no, actually, this campaign really does need something changing about it. Oh, look, they did get someone next to us.
Ships ready. A fine day to sail.
Oh, well, that does work. Oh, I didn't know that. That's fantastic. Hello, Captain Haroon. I'm not sure why you've been sent out, but I'm afraid this is the end for you. And I'm sorry, everyone, but I am going to fight this one just so that we don't take any unnecessary losses. We've got one general in this army that's mounted. He has 13 men, and he's about to take down a group of steppe archers. And he's going to do that successfully. Everyone else, come and stand far, far, far away. If need be, we'll send them in as well. But this fellow, I imagine, should be able to do it. Boosh! In we go. Fantastic.
If we continue like this,
but they're running on. We are going to have to use a secondary unit.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
Send those in then. Don't take any losses. That's an order. There's 71 of you. No, you lost 2. You silly, silly sods. There are 29 or something left. There we are.
Pursue and run them down.
No, we lost 4. We lost 4.
This is a clear
Please
victory.
heal. Did you heal any at all? No. The Swan Guard healed, but that's wasted. It's useless. The Blackroot Vale Archers managed to kill 2. Did we just kill some of our own? I didn't check if there was any in brackets. 4 cavalrymen paid today. That's so disappointing. But 4 is better than if we'd let them get near us and shoot us, because that's what they were going to do, wasn't it? And instead we shut them down before they had an opportunity to do that. But now with our strong and very anti-cav army, and it looks like they put even more people in the city, which is brilliant for us.
Protect the blood of
Because
Numenor.
Candish armies in cities are just no good. They're all wasted. But look how many forces they've got. It's just, how are we going to deal with the Candish problem? Miston, his army will be slowly beaten down and beaten. Oh, I should have sent Mistvan in. Why didn't I do that? Oh, Galley, you moron. Mistvan's army will be slowly whittled away, and it just won't be enough to push them back. And we have the same problem that they have, in that we've got to fight our way all the way over there just to get through to them. Lord Imrahil the Fearless collects defeated enemies' banners. 3 troop morale plus 1 renown. He's turning into a mighty, mighty general. I mean, he already was, but he's even mightier now. Oh, more of the enemy ships. And what are you, Admiral Minluben? Minluben, apologies. Oh, no. Oh, and you've got troops in you. Damn. But look at that. Dolgu Balukazga will never get you with our 2 ships.
Ships ready.
They need to retrain, and unfortunately, they won't be able to ever do that because we have no money.
Set sail. Ships ready. Yes, sir. Full sails.
It'll cost... I mean, it'll be a cold day in hell before they're ready. I feel like we should press our advantage in the south somehow, but that army's just not going to do anything. Anything at all. Unless we could maybe go and sack the AA city, but then they've got troops in that ship there that we need to watch out for.
Ready your weapons. Quell this evil. Gondor is victorious.
Get a bit more money. Remember, you get money every single time you fight and win any kind of battle. Oh, and we could take Amon Ithel back very easily. No threat of Arslan, no threat of Marwan.
Slay them.
Go on, yeah. They'll rise up easily, or they'll attack us.
I will not waste words on
See, Hangir might be able to make it to us. But I don't think he'd be able to attack us. He might just be able to stand there. Arslan can attack, obviously. Marwan is totally out of the equation now. He's a nothing.
Your orders.
I wonder if they would... If the Ardenaim might...
We shall listen to your proposal, but do not expect much.
Because we might be able to take them out with the same premise. Balanced. I don't think we will, to be honest. But we can try it. Is that going to go to demanding?
I must say we are not convinced.
Rejected as well. Not just rejected. Rejected. They would rather war than peace. They all would, because we're their only enemy. That's the key problem. We are their only enemy. Oh, and there's those rebels there as well, aren't there?
Maintain order, my lord. Forward.
There he is, Captain Finglin. Quite the garrison as well, to be honest. We can try it, can't we? Let's end the episode on taking down these stupid rebels. At least trying to. 2 crossbow, 1 archer, and then they've got one of them. They call Marines, Corsair Marines, Azrazair Marines. Yes,
the tide of battle seems to have turned against us. We must act and halt this turn of events.
They're coming in from behind us, and we are ambushed, but it's all right because we are cavalry. Oh, and they're going for the cavalry. Way more than the general. That's very interesting to see. There's the Marines. Headlong into those crossbowmen. Headlong into those Marines. Fantastic. And there we see the problem with lower tier cavalry. They did an absolutely excellent charge, but they lost quite a few of their own.
Slain the enemy general. Without him, his troops will lose their will to.
And they're only losing more and more because they're charging into ranged forces. That's the problem now. I'm not sure we're going to be able to do this one because we just don't have the quality that is needed to win these types of battles. And see, as we get closer now, they've just got too many ranged units. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. I meant that one. Go on, run away. We've damaged them. They've got nowhere to retrain or regroup forces, so that'll do us for now. We at least took out those crossbows. He'll replenish, and we can always come back with just a general and just keep hitting them until they're dead.
Though defeat is ours on this day, we have nothing to.
They lost 256. That's way more than the amount that we just lost. That was a good trade, to be honest. Apart from we will lose money because you always lose money when you lose battles as well. But then the money that Dol Amroth will gain, whilst it's not going to stop us from going any deeper into the red, it will at least support our situation a bit more. There's 300 or so gold coins at the moment being wasted on devastation. Although it's Methrust actually that's losing it, isn't it? Income, there we are. 253 on devastation, yeah. But then, yeah, he'll retrain. They sadly won't retrain and are now just a wasted slot. But he will, and then he can hit them again, and then again, and again, and again, and again. And all of our problems are solved. But for now, I think that's going to end this episode. So, I've started Dol Amroth, so I'll finish. Adrian will just have 2 episodes this week, and then next week it will get its 3 again. So you'll have a Dol Amroth video today, which is Wednesday. You'll have one on Friday, and you'll have one... You'll almost certainly have one on Monday, because at the minute I'm a bit of an humming and hawing state on lore videos, and primarily I'm just really busy again, and they take such a long time. At the minute I don't know when I'm going to get the next lore video out, when I actually will get a moment to do it. I won't stop the lore videos at the moment, not by any stretch of the imagination, but there's going to be a delay to the next one, I'm afraid. But that doesn't matter all that much, because actually lore videos now have gone from being the thing that almost put my channel on the map to far and away being the least popular aspect of the channel. So I'm not overly concerned if they just become sporadic. You're all mostly here for divide and conquer anyway, aren't you? Let's be honest. But until we speak again, dear friends, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for all of your comments about why you disliked those factions and why you dislike really any faction. We may well run similar polls in the future to get more information about more of the factions that were toward the lower end of the scale. And keep an ear out in Discord for that. Remember that Discord is very much our primary base now. I know many of you don't have Discord accounts, and your reasons are your reasons. But we do have an announcement hall there where we post major aspects and events that are going on in DaC. There's a preview thread on Discord as well, which doesn't allow any comments, so you just get to see images for what's going on in the mod. But of course, you can also keep up with the mod by just following along on the channel when I do developer diaries. Because whilst I do talk about things here and there in these campaign episodes, primarily I group it all together in the developer diaries. So watching those will keep you updated as well. But now, properly, until we speak again, Navar Naden Pedemad Melunin, and farewell.